members, if you would go to file item number 5, please, the adoption of the September minutes. Members, questions, comments? Is there a motion?
Excuse me, Mr.
Don?
Chairman.
I'm sorry.
Can I just make an observation?
Yes, sir.
It seems like we are very good at putting in the questions, but not real good at putting in the responses. Is that normal policy?
What we here the problem we had, and I think it was in late 2010, people started to send us letters saying that we didn't summarize what they said, and we should include in our minutes the following, or a verbatim transcript. And we, to that point, had essentially done a skeleton outline. Mr. Jones spoke, there were questions, and anything else. In an effort to accommodate it somewhat, we said to Pat, why don't you just try to summarize at least the overall general conversation and allow people, if they object to that, to submit letters later. And we've had, I think, 2 or 3 people who said, well, you claim I said that, but I didn't say it. And either look at the tape or some letters say, change the tape, remove the tape, here's what I meant to say. And this is one of these hard accommodations on minutes. So we don't try to summarize it. It's a ton of work to try to even describe the statements made in a shorthand effect, and it's never going to be perfect.
There are just certain things, like on page 4.
Page 4?
Item number, wait for 4.9. At the middle of the page says public comment, agenda item 10A, and Bert Wilson, raised...
Who's sitting here right now, but we're not going to ask him to talk about this point. Yes.
Okay. But to someone reading this, he raised a legitimate question, and there was no answer given. He asked Dr. Goodwin if it's his opinion that the restoration of the Delta ecosystem could occur consistent with the, I guess it's supposed to be the Delta plan. And I would have expected Dr. Goodwin to say yes, or some sort of a reply.
Well,
and the same thing is on the next page, public comment, item number 9, from Jim Verboon. Again, a question, but no response.
I'm a little hesitant to, let me say...
and then Bert comes up again on the following page.
Yeah, and Mr. Wilson and I always usually have an exchange or two during the meetings, as we've had for years, on these issues, because I think he kind of expects the council to address questions that are either under control of other agencies or the courts, or that we don't have no ability to influence. And I don't want to get in the position of asking our staff that our staff must respond to every comment made by every person. Although the people making the comments probably would prefer that. But if we did that, we would be doing absolutely nothing else.
Again, my only point is if you put in the questions, and you're concerned about getting the summarization of the question right, we should have less concern about getting a summarization of the answer correct.
Chris?
Yeah, I was going to say that if, for instance, in this example, if Dr. Goodwin had answered the question, maybe we can do a better job of characterizing that he answered it or what his answer was. But I think the chair's point is right, that we're in public comment, we don't necessarily answer all the questions of the commenters, so we don't want to make it seem like there was an answer due necessarily. But you're right, if we'll make a better job of tying the...
I think we can reconcile the two. I mean, if we pick a question, then we can pick an answer.
Gotcha.
Okay. Randy?
I'll offer approval of the meeting summary.
Second. Second by Don. I just have one comment, Pat. Page 3, please. It's under number 7. It's the last full paragraph, not the italicized, but above that, at the suggestion of the chair. I think you want to take the first sentence, which relates to the adoption of the prior minutes, which we had delayed because Pat had stepped outside for an emergency call, and either delete it or move it to item 6 because I couldn't read it and understand exactly why it appeared in there. I know in terms of chronological event, it may have. But what you just want to say under item 6 on page 2, the vote was taken, put in the time, and if you wish to add a note that says the motion was made during the adoption discussion and the vote was taken later because once a quorum was reestablished, I think that's probably the better way to do it. Then number 2, I simply still don't understand the second sentence. Council moved on to lead science report, and while Dr. Goodwin gave us a report as directed by Chair Eisenberg, this draft drafted the recommendations. For what? I obviously said something. It must have to do with something, but I don't recall what you're talking about. Take a look at that one. I think it related to a wording of a motion we would take up in the future in this meeting minutes, and I'm not so sure you need to summarize it, but it's up to you. Okay, with those notations and comments for potential correction, starting with Mr. Johnston.
Johnston, aye.
Nordhoff, aye.
Fiorini, aye.
Eisenberg, aye.
Vitoli, aye.
Okay, 5-0 on that.